So my name's Cam Wheeler and I run a no-dig market garden here in Suffolk called 5 Rod Farm. I started growing vegetables in 2020. I really loved being outdoors and working with nature and giving the opportunity of life to these plants, which I knew were going to produce, delicious, healthy food. So that's kind of where the passion started, and from there I got an allotment, and that's where I then began growing on a sort of larger scale, and I wanted to expand and provide more people with healthy produce, things you don't see in the supermarket. So I grow a mixture of vegetables, but also cut flowers, edible flowers and herbs. Here in the polytunnel, in between my tomatoes and aubergines and peppers, cucumbers, I planted things like marigolds and calendulas and nasturtiums because they're great companion plants to have amongst your veg. In the case of the farm here, I've used a lot of well-rotted horse manure and also used green waste compost and some mushroom compost. So the no-dig method is basically disturbing your soil as little as possible, and you're allowing the microorganisms that are working beneath our feet to do the jobs they need to do, so the worms and the fungi. All of these things are really beneficial to our soil and beneficial to the plants, and each time you dig your soil, you're destroying them and you're also releasing the carbon out of the ground. In June this year, I started selling my produce for the first time. I've done my first year of veg boxes, and I also supply a whole food shop in Stowmarket. I'd like to be able to, offer days where people can come and learn how their food is grown. They can learn how to build a no-dig bed and sow seeds, plant things out, harvest things. Well, from what I've learned over the last few months talking to people is that people want local, healthy produce that's grown in a field just down the road. I think the idea of going to the supermarket, it's not a great experience. Filling a basket up with all this stuff which has travelled hundreds of miles to get to the shops, but it's also wrapped in single-use plastic. You don't know where it's grown, who's grown it, how it's been grown. And so, yeah, I think because people live in the countryside and live in this kind of area, they want to have something from the land here. If someone else is looking to start growing their own food, then I would say it literally just starts by putting a seed in some compost and giving it a bit of water. I think lots of people think they won't be able to do it, or it's too much work. Because it's a practical thing you're doing with your hands, the best thing is just to try. And yeah, you learn best, from the mistakes that you make. So yeah, I think it's just starting small, but yeah, just getting going really.